Yeah, I can get him.
Hello, I'm Carol Dwyer. I'm the person who narrated or did the video of the opening, the celebratory opening of the West Concord Depot back on November 2nd of 1989. 19 years ago today. I cannot believe it. But it was a fabulous event. It was a beautiful night, first of all. It was a beautiful night. And it was a complete transformation of the old, dreary, the station that had existed before that was sort of very, very shabby looking. And this renewal of the station as a focus of the downtown West Concord area was so successful and such a happy event. There were many people that were there that night that were big parts of Concord and the leadership in Concord. And Mary Weinberg has now dug up this old video that I did. It was the first video I had ever produced. So please forgive maybe the uneven quality, at best, of the film. But it was a great event and a great moment. So I'm happy to be here, 19 years later, and seeing now the restoration of the exterior of the building. So it's a good time and happy to think about the efforts of the people that worked on it at first. Barbara Ramsey, Mary, Lou Hills were the people who really put their all and huge effort into creating this this central focus of West Concord and making it, highlighting the historic quality of the village as a train center, as it was, and as it's becoming again now, with the commuter rail being enhanced and our need for public transportation that's not gas fueled, more public transportation today in 2008. We're coming back to understanding the importance of the railroads to us now. So it was a good time.
My name is Mary Weinberg, and I want to thank Carol Dwyer for giving that wonderful introduction. Thank God she was there the night that the depot opened for the first time in many years as a public transportation facility, and Carol had her camera there documenting everything, and we were lucky enough to find the old video that Carol shot and burn it on a CD so we could show it on Concord Cable. And for many years I've been wanting to do something to dedicate to the memory of my wonderful friend Barbara Ramsey, who worked with Lou Hills and myself on getting the depot back into public hands for a transportation facility. Barbara worked tirelessly and with Lou to put this depot on the National Register, and the three of us were a wonderful team and loved each other, respected each other, and then again with the help of state officials and then the town of Concord, we have a great train station today. Again, this is in memory of Barbara, who we all miss very much. She passed in '91, and so this is for you, Barbara. And I happen to have the poster that was printed by the Minuteman Printing for the opening night. And so this gives you a little history of what you are about to see. The opening night, November 2nd, 1989. And actually, here comes the train. So let's go back to November 2nd, 1989. Thank you.
What are they? West Concord Depot kids. Did you get it? Now hold it up so I can see. Very good. You're all set. How are you feeling about this? Isn't this nicely done?
Celebration a week ago Sunday when they had a special train that we could walk with. So we went down and looked at that. That was fun. But the whole interior is just very, very handsome. I mean, it's not quite as posh as Union Station in Washington, but I think they've overdone it there. Oh, well, that is really something too. I mean, it's a train station worthy of the nation's capital. The sound station is very, very nice. Very nice. Well, there was a terrific one in South Acton that burned down a few years ago. Concord Center has a nice station, but they've given it over. They've given it over to Shock.
This?
I think it's just marvelous, don't you?
I think it's fabulous. And here they come, huh?
They come. Yes.
Do you think so? Everybody down here, huh? Did you get down there already for action? No, we didn't get down there. We just went and looked inside.
We hope they've run out of film. Good thing off my glasses.
What do you think, Dean?
Well, I think things have been really impressive the way it's come together, don't you?
I think it's fantastic and a wonderful night for this event, too.
It's not raining.
A night off for the rain.
Even the garden.
Oh, yeah. Carol, here's a nice tree. You might just put that in this garden.
Hey, Carol.
Looks like, let's
Oh, okay. Historic flag.
Yeah, times change.
That's so no more, Carol.
It's dangerous.
That's pretty good. It's a nice plaque, huh? Yeah, West Concord Depot has been placed on the National Register. Historic places in the United I see you too.
It was built in 1884.
Thank you. Thank
the whole Pittsburgh line. So Concord has really been a key part of the comeback to the T-commuter rail system. This project, which we are officially opening today, was a $1.2 million investment, which we think will pay off again and again over the years, including the parking lot, the station, the ramps for the handicapped, the concession space, which will also sell our monthly passes, and a whole sort of upgrade of the immediate area to try to make this train station into a real asset for the community. There are a lot of unique aspects of this project from our point of view. We probably spent a little bit more time on this station than we did have on a number of other stations in the system, but it was really worth it when you look around and see all the work that went into it, the fact that we were able to preserve a lot of the historic features of this building. And really, the credit for that goes to the people that we were working with in the West Concord Depot Advisory Group, particularly Mary Weinberg and Barbara Ramsey. I'd just like to start off with We work with 78 cities and towns in the MBTA district, and I just want to say, I think I'm qualified to say there are no two better advocates in the 78 cities and towns than Mary and Barbara. And I think if they lived in Boston, there'd be a new Boston Garden opening. They chose to live in Concord instead. Here we are, opening the station instead. So I really would like to recognize and applaud them. I'll introduce them in a minute. Another very critical person in making this happen was Senator Carol Amick. Sometimes big organizations like the T are a little bit slow to respond, and I want to thank Senator Amick for being patient when it was important to be patient, and being not so patient when it was important not to be so patient. So as a result of both of those skills of hers, we are here tonight, and I want to start off by introducing her and asking her to say a few words.
And its hopes for the future. As we look at this beautiful structure, and I personally am struck by how quickly the T staff were able to turn the inside of this building that just a few weeks ago had a lot of rubble into this beautiful place where we are now. But as we look at this structure, it reminds us how important railroading was to West Concord and to Concord's history. And as we think in terms of how this building is going to be used in the future and how it came about, it was all due to the fact, the efforts of the MBTA and the vision of Tom Glenn, and I I salute you for that vision. And the citizens in this community, the businessmen and the citizens and the local officials who cared so deeply. You've heard two names already. There are many others as well. They had a dream many years ago and they wouldn't let it die. And we congratulate all of you as well. But this depot's future, and in my opinion, represents the future of West Concord because it showed so clearly and so positively the sharing, hand-in-hand approach between the state and local citizens. The partnership that often we don't see, but that was so positive in its effects in this particular project, and I think that will be West Concord's future as you citizens watch and work with the state on other projects that you care about. So to all of you, this is your celebration, your night. Congratulations. I'm glad that I had a small part to play in helping it happen. Thank you very much.
As everybody is aware, we have had a lot of cooperation from the House as well as the Senate in terms of putting this project together, and I'm happy to be able to introduce Representative John Loring, who also will say a few words.
Thank you very much. I'm really very pleased to be here, and I wish I could take more credit for this, but as you can see, there are many people that worked hard on this. I can remember Barbara Ramsey calling me about the terrible shape of the depot. It must have been 6 or 8 years ago, and we started working and getting things kind of going slowly, and then all of a sudden there was a redistricting, and Carol Amick got elected senator, and it was like the invention of the atom bomb. And I really have to compliment her and her staff on carrying the ball on this. But I have to also say that there's a considerable amount of nostalgia for me here, because it was about 40 years ago this time of year that I used to walk down from Grove Street every morning with my books over my back and catch the train here for Boston. The depot was really not quite as nice as this. They had, the benches were hard. A lot of times coming home at night, I didn't get off at West Concord because I fell asleep and had to thumb a ride home from Southampton. But it really brings back a lot of memories. And the first thing I'm going to go do when I go in Monday morning, because I can't have the right nostalgia until I get a bill passed that says you've got to have those old steam locomotives. I congratulate you all, and now I think I may take the train to work once in a while because I'm in a long way. Senator Amick said this has represented a real partnership, and one of the very important partners has been the town of Concord, not only for donating the land that's involved here, but also for working with us in terms of maintaining this property, and also kind of working on a lot of the day-to-day problems that come up when you try to do a project this complicated. So I'd like to introduce representing the Board of Selectmen in the town of Concord, Nancy Beecher.
Thank you, Tom. It's characteristic of me always to carry a bunch of books around. I'll speak to that in a moment. Carol Amick, this is probably her last appearance in our town as our senator. She's been our senator only a short period of time, since January. She's done a lot for us in that period of time, and I want to express my very strong appreciation too, and I think the appreciation on the part of the townspeople. We will miss you, and we hope we will have at least a senator sometime soon. That won't take too long to happen. I do want to say welcome to all of you on behalf of the Board of Selectmen. Others of the board are here, and I am participating on their behalf tonight because I was involved 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Mary is saying 3, and I don't ever argue with Mary. I know that she's been working at it that hard, that long period of time. But about 2 years ago, I participated with Mary as an observer on behalf of the Board of Selectmen at some early meetings. John Powers was there and others, when we began to explore the possibility and the feasibility of undertaking this project. It looked like a hopeless undertaking, but some people have faith and some people have perseverance, and remarkable things happen. I think in one sense it's nice to consider that Junction Park out here, which is a small town park, as all of you who are in the town are aware, preceded this redevelopment, reclamation of the depot, and the symbolism there I find very good. If you haven't done it already, if you look in the park, embedded in the brick, is the cross tie, or a cross tie from the old junction. That has a lot of good symbolism, it seems to me, for this occasion, for Concord Junction, and the way in which there has been a conjoining in this project, in this undertaking, of a lot of people working together from a lot of different levels. That's an excellent thing for us all to have achieved, and I think we can all take great satisfaction. There's also been a very nice conjoining of interests and needs in that junction, because the town of Concord needed to have a real reclamation of this area. This is an important center of our town, and to have an area in the center of the town which is disintegrating is not helpful. So it's been in everybody's interest in the town to have this quality of life return to this center. We're grateful to that, for that to many people. Certainly I want to add our appreciation. There's also been a conjunction of the interests of the T, clearly, in being able better to serve and therefore better to attract their clientele, and the parking lot across the way, as well as this depot, and the way in which this depot will be used, represent that. And I submit there is a very important conjunction of a broad public interest here in the fact that there is more and more use of public transportation between here and the city and throughout the greater Boston area, so that we're going to have fewer cars, at least a less rapid increase of cars on the highways, and constant upgrading of our public transportation. So there has been a great conjunction of interests and a conjunction of participation that is symbolized here by Junction Park and by this depot. I have to say one further thing, and that's why all my books here. There's a very good brief history of the depot in the appendices to our 1987 long-range plan. It came out in October of '87, just about the same time this strong effort to reclaim the depot began to gather momentum, slowly but strongly. And one of the things that were the recommendations of the Long Range Plan Committee was indeed a commitment to the reclamation of this depot, to make it very useful both for social purposes and transportation purposes, and for the quality of life in West Concord Center. Interestingly, the committee, foreseeing all the problems that existed around making that happen, put that in the category of objectives for 5 years down the road. Now, it doesn't very often happen with long-range planning that you achieve one of your goals prior to or earlier than your objective. Thanks to Mary and to Barbara and to Lou Hills back there who hasn't been mentioned yet. One of the objectives of our long-range plan in 2 years rather than 5. Thanks very much.
I mentioned that one of the things that sometimes the team needs a little help with is keeping a focus on our priorities. We have about 100 commuter rail stations, of which this is one. And we thought this project was pretty much on time, but about a month ago, Lieutenant Governor Evelyn Murphy, who had been very involved in the early stages of getting the project going and making sure it was a priority of the T's, told us that she was going to come out here and go on a tour to see how we were progressing. So I won't say that helped keep us on schedule. But we are on schedule. And tonight, representing Lieutenant Governor Murphy is one of her key staff people, Alana Murphy.
Thank you. I bring Lieutenant Governor's regrets. She had a scheduling conflict. I know she wanted to be here tonight. She has taken a very special interest in this project. It's not one of the mega projects. It's not one of the real big ones, but this is probably one of the few that's really going to make a difference. It's to help this community maintain its individuality. There's not going to be another West Concord Depot any place in the United States. And that's exactly what it should be. I know this has been a very long, hard process and a hard fight for the people on the advisory board, but I have to tell you, some people might have doubted this. I never doubted this was going to happen. When I saw what Mary and what Barbara and what Lou were doing, I figured that much persistence was going to have to pay off. It was only fair, it was only just, it was only right. There was no way that this could fail. And tonight, I bring Lieutenant Governor's commendations, her congratulations, and she asked me also to extend her thanks because to the people of West Concord who saw the potential of this, saw what this depot could be to the community and wouldn't let it go and wouldn't allow it to fail. And so congratulations and thanks.
Tom has given me permission to say one more thing, which I wanted to add. I trust all of you realize that this is a first step with this building. There is a goal of rehabilitating the outside of the building in full harmony with its original style of almost 100 years ago. Did you realize it's almost 100 years old now? It is on the Register of Historic Properties, Massachusetts Register and National Register, both. And one of the objectives will be to rehabilitate the outside of the building properly and inside properly and historically. That will take money. It will take money that T doesn't have because it doesn't have any authority to spend money for that, I assume. Well, all right, strike that. They need our help anyway. So the hope is, of course, of many of us who have been involved in this, that in a short time there will be developing a nonprofit corporation to begin to raise some money to help us get on with that task too. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal. Everybody who signed the sign-in sheet, you can just put at the top of that, I support an increase in the gas tax. I'm sure everybody here sees how that all is connected. There's probably a few people here today who read the Boston Globe, and there's a front page story in the Boston Globe today about our boss, Fred Salvucci, who's the chairman of the board of the MBTA, among other things. And it's a story about how persistence pays. And up until today, he was always seen as the most persistent person in public policy in Massachusetts. But I think that there's a challenger on the horizon. Maybe two challengers. And one of them is named Mary, one of them is named Barbara. Somehow it's decided that Barbara would speak tonight on behalf of all the citizens who are active in the advisory committee. So it is my great pleasure to introduce the person who's been mentioned more often tonight than anyone else, Barbara Reeves.
We are so pleased to have all sharing this evening with us, where we are opening the West Concord Station as a much-needed transportation facility. As you've heard, this operation has been in the works for quite a number of years, 3 or 4 years, depending on when people got involved in this. And it has really been an exercise of cooperation, with people working together very, very hard and very, very dedicatedly on both the state and the local level. We are very grateful for the efforts of a number of people, and I'm just going to take a minute to thank some of them right now. First of all, the Lieutenant Governor's office, Evelyn Murphy's office, was the first place that we went. And the role of this Lieutenant Governor's office was going to be to bring together legislators, MBTA officials, and citizens. And I would especially like to thank Elena Murphy, whom you met previously for this. They were always there when we needed them for whatever aid that was necessary. From the point of this initial dialogue, Senator Carol Amick and her staff took over what turned out to be nearly day-to-day operation of this project. She and Joyce Silverman, who is sitting over here. Stand up. Stand up, Joyce. Were just wonderful. And they worked very closely with us until Senator Amick created the West Concord Depot Advisory Committee. And we are so thankful for their dedication and their help. They've been absolutely wonderful. We've always enjoyed working with the MBTA. And as you can imagine, with a project such as this, there were many, many details to be dealt with. And we have found working with the MBTA to be a really wonderful experience. They have been great. I would like to at this time thank Jim Eng, I'm not sure where he is in this crowd, it's very difficult to find anybody, Jim Eng of Construction, and Jack Wolfson of Real Estate, and of course the Middlesex Corporation, who implemented our ideas very quickly and very beautifully, as we all can see around us. We started out to open a train station, and in the process we really enjoyed meeting and working with the people of the MBTA, Tom Glenn of the General Manager, whom you've met, also Peter McNulty, who was Director of Construction, Ralph Duval over here, some of them I know where they are and some of them I don't know where they are. Ralph Duval over here, who is Director of Operations, Andy Warren, Director of Real Estate, and John Powers, who I saw previously, but I don't know where he is either, who's
Over there with Jack.
Deputy Director of Construction. It has really been a rewarding experience working with all of you. We've enjoyed it very, very much. Senator Amick created the West Concord Citizens Advisory Committee. And the purpose of this was to represent a cross-section of the community, and that it did, because we wanted input on a variety of sources so that we would have a concept of the station that everybody would appreciate. I'd like to just mention the people that are on the committee, and you can wave so that people can see where you are. Lou Hills was our chairman, and he's way at the back of the room.
Barbara, is there any way of getting him up here? Don't let him get away with it.
I know. Lou, you should come. Wend your way. Wend your way.
Is the police chief here?
The police chief is there, yes.
Get him up here. Sorry.
All right. Okay, also we've got Jim Burns, Bob Carter, Mark Connolly, John Forbes, Maynard Forbes, Cindy McElwain, Peter Mandrioli Sr. and Peter Mandrioli Jr., Jerome Pica, Constance Putnam, and my dear friend Mary Weinberg. The selectmen were also all members of the West Concord Depot Advisory Committee, as was the town manager, the assistant town manager, the planning department, the building inspector department, Senator Carol Amick, who formed the committee, Joyce Silverman, who also acted as our staff person and has been really wonderful, and then of course Representative John Loring, whom you met earlier this evening too. So you can see it's really quite a cross-section of the Concord community, and everybody had input, and we feel that we've got a project that we can all enjoy and all be proud of. We thought it would be very appropriate to have a party tonight. We've all worked hard and we wanted to have an event where everybody enjoyed themselves. So we decided on a party, and I'd like to thank Dorothy Novak, I don't know where she went. Dorothy's from the communications department, and she pulled this all together. There were a number of other people also in the communications department which helped us out on various details, so we were very grateful to all of them. Everything here was donated, and it was very heartwarming to see the generosity. And I'd like to just list our donors because they were marvelous. The seasoned chef who did the catering, the West Concord businessmen, Bay Bank Harbor Trust, Party Design, Idlewild Farms, the West Concord Supermarket, Purity Supreme, the Stop and Shop, Crosby's Star, Welch's, and Concord Tea Cakes. And Bob Carter contributed the mums, which we have around. And then there's one more that didn't get on our invitation because it was done at a last minute, and we were very thankful for them doing this. This is Minuteman Printing, who printed the posters, which you've seen all around here. By the way, Jerome Pica, who did the catering, owns the Seasoned Chef, which is just around the corner, and he's going to be our tenant in here serving the commuters, and we're very pleased that he's going to be doing that. Two other people on our list that were on the West Concord Depot Advisory Committee. I don't know how they left them out. I guess the people that you work with the most don't get on your list. Susan Dean and Helen McDonald. We are also very honored to have here a lady who came all the way from Glen Falls, New York, and her name is Mrs. Puritan Fay Mars. Her father-in-law was a station agent in the West Concord Depot starting in 1889. This is when they had the old depot that burned down. And when this one was built in 1894, her husband was the first station agent of our West Concord Depot here and served in that capacity until 1929. Mrs. Mars' son, which was Fay Puritan Mars, would ride the train every day from West Concord to Concord when he was going to Concord High School, as did all the students at that time. This is the way they went to school, was by hopping the train. And she has brought for us, and it's going to go on our wall of railroad memorabilia, a ticket from May 27th, 1909. And so we're going to have a bulletin board up in the back there with various pictures and railroad memorabilia, and so this ticket will be on that board, and we're very, very pleased that she did this. So, Mrs. Marr, wherever you are, we're very happy that there she is, right over there. Also, we have John Alden here, who is, of course, we all know from West Concord, who worked with the dissemination of information with the train. And I don't know if John can come up to the podium, like depending on where he is. He's back there, and he's got some railroad memorabilia.
I have a little item here dated July 1928 from the Executive Department, Boston, Main Railroad, Boston. To all concerned, on about July 1st, 1928, the station now known as Concord Junction closed, and the Pittsburgh Division will be West Concord after this. I'm J.W. Smith, General Manager. Cross now here in Junction Park. You notice it's a two-way affair. One was the New Haven track that came from Lowell to Framingham. The other was the main line of the Boston, Main Pittsburgh Division that went from Boston to New York. Just thought I'd mention it. People don't notice it because it's buried in the stones down there. I'm very happy this thing happened because some years ago I wondered if we're going to still have a station here. As an exclamation, I'm particularly grateful for the hard-top surface platforms, crosswalks, and all the beautiful lights we have up and down here. Thanks very much.
I have a plaque here which I'd like to read to you people, and this plaque is going to be placed on the exterior wall on the track side. And it says, "The West Concord Depot has been placed on the National Register of Historic Places by the United States Department of the Interior, built in 1894. And we are very pleased that our station has reached this type of prominence, and of course we're also very pleased that the MBTA has recognized the importance of the station to our town, and we now have our transportation facility. Thank you all very much for being here.
We're going to invite everybody who wishes to outside while we put the plaque on the wall, at least in theory. I just thought I'd kind of close with one story on the history of this project, which took place a couple of weeks ago in Senator Amick's office. Peter McNulty is our director of construction, and we were just meeting with the governor's management task force. We figured out that over the last few years, Peter spends between $300 and $400 million on construction projects. So you can imagine, with contractors and architects, he's kind of an important guy around town with that kind of leverage. A lot of people have been asking how we picked the color of the station on the inside. Well, Peter, with all of his hundreds of millions of dollars in architects and consultants, at the meeting in Senator Amick's office, we were presented a can of paint and we were told, this is the color of the interior of the new station. So look around you and you'll see what happens if you take a little can and make it into a big can. So just kind of one example of the sort of attention to detail which brought this project to fruition. And the level of, I guess, proving once again that persistence pays. So we're very happy to be part of this tonight. We're happy that everybody who was involved could be represented. And we would like to invite everybody outside for the installation of the plaque, and then we'll be cutting the cake, and the festivities will continue. Representative Lawrence says ad infinitum. Thank you very much for your patience during the construction process, and we look forward to serving you over the next few years. Thanks very much.
Where's the cake? Well, it's very nice to see you. Maybe we'll see you in the spring.
Well, I hope so. Not before.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm surprised that it's going to be so long since crossed paths.
It's a great day, Mary. It's a great day for you. Good luck with whatever you do decide to do.
I can't
Ride the train. All I can say, ride the train and support the restoration movement. That's it. What's your
We don't have enough room, man. Oh, is that what it is? Concord, anyway.
This is quite a celebration we're having here.
Why don't you have any skyrocket? Get a volume, Rich.
Hey, where's the conductor?
It's not alcoholic.
Yeah, look at that. They don't have Thomas Boss is here. Great guns down there. That's great.
is my daughter.
Got my mouth full now.
Well,
I'm glad you could come.
Well,
Thank you.
I think it's marvelous for the community to do this. I like to see a station fixed up and not in disrepair and a pizza joint where a lot of them are. So, I don't know where the Belmont is. See, there was a Waverly station in the Belmont. I don't know. It's delicious cake.
Well, all I can say is that I'm very, very pleased with the fact that this has actually become a reality, and also the fact that the townspeople are able to celebrate this opening with us, because this is a people station. This is for the people. That I want to make very, very clear. That's why we did it. So
You made it happen. You should feel very, very proud. A lot of people.
it really wasn't everybody working together. State people, local people, people that ride the train that just were giving us support and encouragement, and that was important too. And I mean, we can all share a piece of the station. It's great.
Well, I wish you two were going to be here every day.
That's the most special one in the whole box.
I want to see them. And she says, they're in beautiful condition. You don't have to see them. Because I've got to see them. I want to see them. Believe me, they're in beautiful condition. Well, reluctantly, she had to, because we were running out of time, and she would have had to make trips to Raleigh and Salem to see each of these benches. One of the few things that she never was not seen. So she called Jim Eng, she loved the benches, and said, I've got your benches. They're going to use these outside benches, the ones that are in the park. And Jim Eng said, Mary, you found a good bench? All right, thank you.
That's terrific. And they look just right, too, don't they?
They look perfect.
Oh.